There's a hole with Xana and Ethan. It says that they left the frat party at 9 p.m. but didn't get back to the house until almost 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Do we know where they were during that hole?
So I'm not sure that it says that they left the location. I believe it says that they were seen there. I think that's what it says. But we do want to figure out what occurred between the 9 and the 1:45, figure out who they were with, what was going on, maybe any routes or paths that they took to end up going home, those types of things. Potentially, that is critical to the investigation. We don't know.
I think it doesn't matter if the house is torn down or not. Following on from my last video, I said about Ethan and Xana being taken to Linda Lane, and that I didn't know if Maddie and Kaylee were also taken somewhere else. I believe that the crime never took place in the King Road house. I believe that's why there's no blood, no footprints, no real evidence. I believe they were just taken back there and dumped in Maddie's room and dumped in Xana's room. I believe there is no evidence in the house. When the crime scene investigators first got there, no masks, they were sneezing all over the place, they were in and out with the same booties on, that nobody seemed to care about dragging evidence in or out. And I think all this stuff happened because it's not a crime scene. It's just where the bodies were placed. The crime scene is somewhere else. There's no way that these crime scene investigators go in there with no hairnets, no masks, no nothing. On the second or third day they were in there, suddenly they're wearing masks and they're doing this and doing that. Anybody that visited that house, all the FBI agents, the police, all government agencies that went into that house, not one of them wore a mask.
Before a CSI even enters the crime scene, they need a full set of appropriate protective clothing. The full crime scene suit, sometimes called a bunny suit, consists of boot covers, gloves, a hood, and a mouth guard. This clothing will protect the CSI and ensure they do not contaminate the crime scene.
The first responder is really supposed to cordon off the scene and protect it from unauthorized entry. Now, this is a big, big problem of people that go into a crime scene because they're police officers, they're high-level administrators. You know, they want to see what's going on, they're curious. And the fact of the matter is, the more people you have in the scene, the more likely you're going to have contamination.
So let's talk about the forensics and real specifically about the process of going through this crime scene. Once they understand what they had on their hands, what do you think should have been the first step at that point?
Get everybody out of there that was non-essential personnel. Everybody. I mean, no one walking through. Not some kind of local politician or anybody else. It is locked down at that point in time. You have strict accountability, whoever's going to walk through that. And that way, you're able to assess that scene step by step by step, and you're not contaminating. And look, you know, it's not every day. Listen, you're not going to watch the news and find evidence out there of a quadruple sharp-edged force homicide. This is a rarity. This does not happen. Even in some big city, it doesn't happen like this. So they might have been unprepared to deal with this, and that's certainly probably the case. It's no fault of their own. Who would have expected this to happen? But once it happens, everything must be locked down, and you process it step by step by step, very methodically.
whoever did this to Xana and Ethan waited in the house for the girls to arrive back home. I'm not sure if the girls were attacked and killed in the 1122 or whether they were also taken to Linda Lane. I don't know, but it would explain why the house was so clean, why there was no blood trails, no footprints, no anything. The way that Ethan and Xana were dumped in Xana's bedroom, and the way Kaylee and Maddie were just dumped on top of each other in Maddie's room. That's the stuff that doesn't make sense. That's the stuff. If they were killed in the house, why were they not just left in the house where they were killed?
We do want to figure out what occurred between the 9 and the 145, figure out who they were with, what that was going on, maybe any routes or paths that they took to end up going home, those types of things. Potentially, that is critical to the investigation.
Well, I'm giving my opinion, and my opinion is that the 1122 King Road house isn't this massive crime scene that everyone thinks. They've done their investigation there. It was 2 bedrooms, maybe the kitchen, maybe there was a little bit of blood spillage, but this isn't a massive crime scene like everyone thinks. The crimes happened somewhere else. These people were just put back in the house. I know this sounds really cold and callous. Please watch my other video because you'll understand why I'm putting these out. This was all caused because someone, or possibly 2, were trying to stop this. And they paid the price. So, out of respect for the victims, we have a duty to keep looking, keep searching. I just wish people would wake up, realise that governments lie to us. That's what they do. That's how they control. And sometimes they lie to us for the greater good. And so we also need to remember there's always 2 sides of everything. Just because we're being lied to, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Some lies are there to protect people, protect people's rights, for fairness, and that's really important.